Welcome to English Story Vault. Get ready, everyone, because this story will take you on an exciting adventure. Let the story begin. On June 19, 2025, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gave a Hebrew interview, making strong statements about Iran's nuclear program. He declared Israel's intent to attack all of Iran's nuclear sites, including Fordo. Fordo is a deeply buried underground nuclear facility. Netanyahu claimed the Israeli military was ahead of schedule in its current actions against Iran. He also stated they had passed the halfway point in destroying Iran's rocket launchers, which are used for ballistic missiles, claiming over half were destroyed. Israel's self-reliance and the Gaza Hasajiza. Crucial point Netanyahu made was about Israel's independent power. He asserted that Israel could single-handedly strike all of Iran's nuclear facilities, regardless of U.S. involvement. He mentioned President Donald Trump, saying Trump would decide what's best for the U.S., but Netanyahu would decide what's best for Israel. Israel's belief in its ability to act alone for self-protection. Netanyahu also linked the fight against Iran to the hostage situation in Gaza, suggesting attacking Iran would help free Israeli hostages held by Hamas, as Hamas relies on Iranian support. Israel's military action against Iran, Operation Rising Lion, began on June 13, 2025. Old problems, new fears. Iran's nuclear ambitions. The tension over Iran's nuclear program has existed for years. Iran has consistently claimed its nuclear work is for peaceful purposes, like electricity generation. However, countries like Israel and others worried Iran sought nuclear weapons. These fears escalated in 2002 with the discovery of secret nuclear sites at Natanz for uranium enrichment and Arak, a heavy water reactor. These revelations led to increased scrutiny from the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, the UN's nuclear watchdog. The UN Security Council also passed resolutions demanding Iran halt uranium enrichment, imposing sanctions when Iran failed to comply. In 2009, the Fordo facility was discovered, built deep inside a mountain near Qom, making it highly resistant to air attacks. Over time, Iran increased its enriched uranium production. While used for power, high-level enrichment can be weaponized. The 2015 Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action (JCPOA) saw Iran agree to significant nuclear limits, removing enrichment machines and allowing strict IAEA checks. This deal extended Iran's breakout time to produce bomb material to over a year. However, the U.S. withdrew from the JCPOA in 2018, leading Iran to resume higher-level uranium enrichment. By mid-2025, Iran possessed a large amount of uranium enriched to 60%, very close to weapons grade. Experts estimated Iran's breakout time was now near zero, possibly a few days. The IAEA continued monitoring Natanz and Fordo, noting no current proof of Iran building a bomb. Though past findings suggested Iran worked on weapon designs as late as 2003, Iran's leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, stated nuclear weapons are forbidden by Islamic law. Beyond nuclear work, Iran developed a missile program, including long-range ballistic missiles like Shahab and Fatah, capable of reaching Israeli cities. This dual development fueled deep fears. Operation Rising Lion. Israel fights back. Operation Rising Lion commenced on June 13, 2025, as a major Israeli military action against Iran, involving aircraft and missiles hitting targets deep within Iran. Iran retaliated with missiles, rockets, and drones towards Israel. On June 13th, Israel launched its largest EVAR attack on the Natanz nuclear facility, hitting underground and above-ground workshops containing centrifuges. Attacks also targeted a facility near Arak and a uranium processing plant in Isfahan. A key objective was Iran's ballistic missile storage and launch sites. It's considered a primary threat. In response, Iran launched numerous rockets and drones at Israeli cities, causing civilian casualties and damage. Israel used its air defense systems to intercept many projectiles. The Israeli military reported successfully destroying at least half of Iran's ballistic missile launch systems, with some officials claiming even more were hit, aiming to severely limit Iran's future missile capabilities. Following these strikes, the number of Iranian attacks on Israel decreased. The IAEA later confirmed damage at the Natanz facility through its inspectors in Iran. Operation Rising Lion was a direct military confrontation, demonstrating Israel's willingness to use force against perceived Iranian threats, including its nuclear program and missile capabilities. Netanyahu's strong words on June 19th. Prime Minister Netanyahu reiterated his strong stance on television, vowing to attack all Iranian nuclear sites, including the fortified Fordo. He claimed the Israeli army was exceeding its planned progress against Iran and had destroyed over half of Iran's missile launchers. Netanyahu emphasized Israel's independent power to strike all Iranian nuclear sites, though without U.S. assistance. While acknowledging President Trump's focus on U.S. interests, Netanyahu asserted his priority was Israel's welfare, even if it meant acting alone against sites like Fordo. He also connected the fight against Iran to the war in Gaza, stating that weakening Iran would aid in freeing Israeli hostages held by Hamas, given Hamas's reliance on Iranian support. Maintained that the military operation would continue for as many days as it takes, emphasizing Israel's need to protect itself from Iran's very big and survival-threatening danger. He explicitly stated Israel could destroy Fordo alone and linked the Gaza war and hostages to Iran's regional agenda, deeming the military action crucial for Israel's future. Big powers react following the Israeli strikes. Global powers reacted. In the United States, President Donald Trump tweeted support for the strikes, promising more to come. However, U.S. officials clarified that American soldiers were not directly involved. Secretary of State Marco Rubio warned against attacking American forces in the region, but the U.S. did deploy more ships and planes to the Middle East as a show of readiness. Trump indicated a decision within 2 weeks on U.S. involvement or renewed talks with Iran. European countries expressed deep concern, urging all parties to de-escalate and adhere to international rules. The EU affirmed Iran should not possess nuclear weapons, but stressed that long-term peace required diplomacy. Warning of the extreme danger of attacking nuclear sites, the United Nations also called for peace. Secretary General Guterres stated the Middle East could not endure further conflict, highlighting the particular danger of striking nuclear facilities. The UN Security Council held meetings where Iran and Israel presented conflicting narratives. Though no strong decision was made, the UN sought to prevent escalation into a larger nuclear conflict. More voices from around the world. UAA Director General Grossi warned about the dangers of attacking nuclear material sites due to radiation risks. Later, the IAEA confirmed damage at Natanz after the attacks, but reported no significant radiation release outside the site. IAEA urged caution and calm, advocating for continued inspections. Russia and China strongly condemned the Israeli attacks. Russia deemed the strikes illegal, unacceptable, and globally dangerous, warning of severe nuclear consequences. Both nations called for diplomatic solutions. China expressed grave concern, offering to mediate talks for a peaceful resolution. In regional stability, Middle Eastern countries also reacted. Saudi Arabia called the attacks wrong, and Oman described them as dangerous and unwise. Other Gulf states reportedly urged the U.S. to help de-escalate and resume dialogue. What smart people think experts believe Israeli strikes can likely only slow down Iran's nuclear program. It's not completely halt it without U.S. aid. Fordo, being deeply underground, is exceptionally difficult to hit, possibly requiring specialized U.S. weaponry. Attacking nuclear facilities carries significant long-term health and environmental risks due to potential harmful radiation spread. International rules and the IAEA advise against attacking nuclear sites, even if used for weapons, experts noted that while both Netanyahu and Trump oppose Iran getting a nuclear bomb, they have different approaches. Trump appeared cautious due to concerns for U.S. soldiers, while Netanyahu favored immediate action. Both leaders were perceived as strong-willed. IAEA Director General Grossi stated Iran is not ready to make a bomb right now, but they are getting closer, suggesting Iran has the components and knowledge, but not a finished weapon. Many Israelis supported the strikes on Iran due to widespread insecurity regarding Iran's nuclear program. However, some within Israel questioned Netanyahu's motives, suggesting he might be using the war to distract from domestic issues. Experts were also skeptical whether attacking Iran would help free Gaza hostages, as most prior releases occurred through talks, not military action. They felt striking Iranian nuclear sites was not a direct path to securing hostage returns, which typically involved negotiations with countries like Qatar and Egypt. The future and questions the situation remains volatile, with ongoing threats and retaliatory promises. Global efforts are focused on preventing a wider Middle East war and fostering new discussions on Iran's nuclear program. The Trump administration is balancing support for Israel's defense with considerations for future actions. Trump has yet to decide on direct U.S. military involvement, but believes new nuclear talks with Iran could succeed. While many in Israel support the campaign against Iran, concerns linger about the conflict's cost and its effectiveness in bringing Gaza hostages home. Many analysts believe hostage returns are primarily achieved through negotiations, not military strikes. Some also worry that attacking Iran's nuclear sites could make Iran more determined to secretly pursue a weapon. The coming days are critical. Will diplomacy prevail, or will fighting continue? The future of the hostages and regional stability remain uncertain. What do you think will be the most significant long-term consequence of these events for the Middle East? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel. Only takes a second, and it really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world.